Hello everyone. Hope you're having a fabulous, fantastic, absolutely cool day. It's me again, doing another episode. I believe this would be episode 6. Welcome to one of the most critically acclaimed games of all time, being Call of Duty 4. I mean, what a game. We'll talk about this later, but before we do anything, I just want to point out one very, very, very important thing. I would like to thank you for the feedback on the last videos, for whoever reached out, and just the people who were watching all the time. I appreciate your time and hope this stuff interests you because it's really, really cool seeing people have interest in this kind of stuff. Today, we are going to be exploring a little bit of the multiplayer maps in Call of Duty 4 and seeing how they are and looking at how they were made, the game design, how they were put in. Look at like 5-ish, 6-ish maps. I don't know how it is. Depends on how much time we'll take, but yeah. Starting with one of my personal favorite maps. As a little goober, watching this map in particular, Wetwork, being the way it is, it really, really is a cool map. You're just fighting in a ship. Something that I really have not seen before in any other game, and that's the thing about these Call of Duty maps. The theming of them is really nice. Also, a fun fact about the Call of Duty series, at least back in the day, they used to just take maps from the campaign, and yeah, this was indeed basically the first mission. Literally the first thing you do after the tutorial in FNG, which yeah, really cool tutorial. A lot of people pushed a lot of time through the first thing. I was one of them. I mean, I could probably do one at the end, but meanwhile, talking about the first mission, it was really cool, really great vibe. Rainfall falling down as if it was God knows how much rain falling down. I mean, it makes sense. We're in the middle of the ocean here. We don't know where we are. And yeah, it is indeed doing its thing. Let me check this one thing. Are these? No. These typically? Yeah. Just this one does not take any damage. Because typically screens do get damaged in this game. And yeah, they're just not damageable here. This is the side here on the first part of the map. It has like a few interiors. I remember there was the one on top and the one on the bottom. I don't know about the other side. We'll go check it out, but yeah. As I say again, the vibe of the map is just really cool. In fact, the vibe of the entire game, by extension, just really hits hard. You could see the grimy feeling. They wanted to actually get to you. A lot of people say that Call of Duty 4, in particular, was the last serious Call of Duty game. And in a sense, I would like to agree because what they had in Call of Duty 4 was a love letter to the people who cared about the American army and just Western war imagery and trying to portray that in an immersive manner, which they have done, I'd say, in a bit of a successful manner. I mean, there's a reason why this is regarded as as one of the most incredible, or most important at least, games. And for me, in terms of the gameplay, it just shines. As we're here in the middle of this, what looks like it's a shipping ship. Has a few cars. I don't believe these are breakable, like in other maps that we'll see afterwards. But yeah, lots of containers. And it is surprisingly balanced for a map that's literally taken right from the campaign. Of course, they had to rebalance things. I don't believe that the containers look like this, but I do believe that you would kill people around this area in the campaign. You have a lot of NPCs or enemies standing around there, and probably insert from the other side. I don't know. Can't remember the layout correctly. Maybe they it's not the same exact layout of the ship, but the assets are practically the same. I mean, Call of Duty 4 has been and still is a really popular game. In fact, if you have the game on Steam, you could go to the server browser, you find servers full to the brim. In fact, it still has a bustling community, and the game costs basically nothing. I've never done the experience. The Remaster is a great experience, but this one for me is slightly better. Here we are on the other side of the ship. It does also have an interior. I believe it's just a little bit more than just a small interior here. What's at the top of this? Oh, it's the cabin crew. Oh, it's not the crew, it's just the cabin. Lots of these machineries. I mean, I'm not a boat person, so I don't know if these instruments that are in front of me here do equate to anything. At least that has collision and does produce sound. I mean, for an area where you go through. Oh, there you go. There's the little bit of a steering wheel here. I mean, they tried. This game is released for PS3, and still. I mean, right now I'm running the PC version because this game's like very old. I can run it on modern machinery, with the highest graphics running at 1080p. Randomly to 720p for the video, because of the limitations of my own proper machine. Well, but this is a game that practically runs on everything. If you have a computer, probably can run this game. But yeah, these graphics have not really dated because it's not the graphics themselves. It's not the details. It's the art style. It's back in the day, the lighting was not done in an organic matter. There wasn't any of this what we'd call ray tracing. You can see that the reflections here, maybe they're reflections, but they're pre-baked. Maybe screen space reflections, is what I'll probably say. Even though you can see here, there's a line that kind of breaks a little bit of the illusion. But I mean, if you look at the map layout, it is actually quite balanced. In fact, it is nearly on par. Besides the spawn, and typically, this spawn and that spawn did not really have a lot of fighting per se. In that way, and you'd have these areas that are dead, but the center where the fighting is, especially knowing that the what's it called? Damn it, the domination layout. The flag here, flag in the center, and flag on the other side, but not in the buildings, but more like in front of the buildings. So people would be fighting on this side, or on that side. Basically, this is like a classical. Well, I'm not going to say 3-lane, because if you look at it, it's not really much of a 3-lane design by default, because you have a lot of places where the lanes are forced to converge. So it's more of the case of, as every other Call of Duty goes, if you are, or if you have seen the enemy first, and if you shot the enemy first, you're probably going to win a battle. Let me see if there's an invisible wall right here. I'll try again. Yep. I don't presume. Oh, hold on, let me. But shooting at the sea actually does have its own effect. But a lot of people who have who are seeing this channel know that the mission doesn't take a lot of time, at least in this surface area. More of the inside of the actual ship on breaching the other side. But yeah, it is what it is. Hold on. I'm gonna try to do something. Because these are very, very static cars, and I cannot change class. I'll just change teams and then change class with the mod that I have that allows me to use all the weapons. I don't have the bot mod, so I cannot spawn enemies and allies. I believe that's for the better. I want this to be more of an exploration thing. I know it's a little bit of a hold on, let me just get an RPG before I forget. I know it's more of a, I'm not gonna say, it's not even niche, more of a stereotypical thing. I already spawned. Let me just cook a grenade in my hand. If it explodes me if I keep holding it. I mean, if it is an M67, typically it shouldn't explode if you hold it. Because it needs to be grown for it to be actually fully triggered. And that means you cannot really even cook it in the way that we'd see in video games, just like this one. I don't know. I don't know. Oh well. Car explosion test in 3, 2, 1. A lot of smoke. Nothing really much. There we go for another one. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I don't think these cars are destroyable. Really quite solid. I wonder what they look like though. What would this car be? Of Cyrillic alphabet. So that means it's somewhere from Eastern Europe towards Russia. And judging by the way this game's been made, well, this was the thing. Yeah, but this game had a lot of the foundations for Call of Duty, as in the same time had a lot of interesting little its and bits to have in a PvP shooter for the first time. For example, night vision. Now, in the campaign, it was really cool. You had an animation, but judging by the fact that this is a competitive game, I believe they just went on with not taking the animation. The night vision was practically useless, and even though it was included in a lot of games, there was not much use for it, because most of the areas were well lit, and worst case scenario, you could probably see the outline of an enemy, even in a completely dark space. Or there's the name tag up top. That would make it obvious. I presume this also doesn't explode. Let me scoop my grenade again. Boop. Oh, I still get my 2 RPGs. I don't think it will explode. Just test the theory. Yep. Just a little bit of an exploded thingamajig. I presume you also cannot climb in there. That would be really cool. Makes it a little bit of a power position. This is also a little bit of a power position, looking at the entire side of the map, but it makes you an easy prey to be shot in from the left and from the right. Yeah, it's a little bit of a parity thing, but the thing that was not, as a parity, in this game at least, was the class making, or the fact that you made your own class. And yeah, this just makes it so everyone has their own specialization, and a lot of people just went for the meta weapons, because back in the day, creator class was a new thing, and we'll see in another map that I'm probably going to select that there are other ways people did stuff, and there was an included game mode that just made it so it was a little bit different. Typically, I remember, I don't know if there was windows in here, as in like glass windows instead of just these hollow ones that point towards the outside. But I know that a helicopter just went in and mowed down enemies over on this side. And yeah, it was quite the thing. Only have like about 5 minutes left before things go haywire. One of my first memories in video games was seeing my dad trying to play the game off of not my cousin, but my cousin's uncle from the other side of the family. I mean, he gave him the controller to try and play. My dad's quite... He was immersed in video games a little bit. Not as much as me. Oh. Game freeze. Game unfreeze. I have to check that one out in the editing software. See if it actually froze the recording. Oh well. But yeah. But I was stuck here, in this position next to this little cabin thingy, and I remember these terminals as if they're really just engraved in my head. My head. Yeah, but this was really a cool thing. In fact, just the entire vibe here, like shooting at the ground, the amount of particles and the reflections, and just the whole stylization of the game. I wish you could see. Oh, I think I could see the model of the player that just died because he held the grenade for too long, even though it's kind of unrealistic. Oh, there he is. there was a little bit of an art style, especially with these SAS models. They were very precise in a lot of what they did. Lots of pouches for gear and stuff. Big gas masks that are recognizable from long, long places away. Oh well. What a great first map, I'd say. I don't know, should I probably switch teams? I could probably do that. Switch teams to Spetsnaz. Get my hands on, say, this one. There you go. You have a grenade. Yes, we do. Then give a little bit of an explosion. That's a weird model. I don't remember seeing that model again. Give me that M4. I believe he was over there. Only have 3 minutes. Rush into it. Oh, there he is. Oh, that's an SAS model. Oh, there he is. He was really in pain when he exploded that grenade over himself. And those are smoke grenades, even though I didn't have smoke grenades. Yeah. This game had a little bit of a stylization thing, and you could see it with the map and with the assets, the color grading. I believe this was even more blue, especially in the campaign, but probably because I'm playing a little bit of a modified PC version. It just senses the fact that, you know, there's a little bit less of that effect. Some people call it the tint, whether it be grey, whether it be purple. Purple? No, would it be brown? Would it be white or blue? There was definitely a tint in this game, and I do remember that. And that was quite removed on the next Modern Warfare game. It was its own thing. I don't believe we'd be seeing this moment where an SAS operative would probably be holding an RPG-7. But that's what video games are for. Making things that shouldn't happen. Again, there's an invisible wall. How far can we hit this? And there's a little bit of a limit because there's a little bit of a fog that surrounds this thing. Of course, they cannot render the sea forever and ever. Wonder what these pieces are called. Lift the anchor or something, because they look like there's just giant machinery that pulls something in and out. As we approach the final thing, let's go to the center of the map, have a general look at the surroundings, probably at the top of this, not really the center, with the harrowing rain and the thunder and the lightning. Yep, this place is a place. It definitely is a place, right? Oh, another freeze hitch. That's probably because it's loading assets, and I'm running it through Linux rather than Windows. Oh well. It was a bit of an experience, so I believe we should probably head towards the next map. But yeah, I don't think the rain's gonna stop ever wet work. What a name for a map. So yeah, let's head to the next one. So hello everyone, hope you're having, oh, why am I doing the intro again? I probably will keep that. Welcome back to another map. This one we'll do in hardcore mode, so we don't have a HUD, and so that we could look at things in a more clear manner. This is Bog, one of the most absolutely recognizable maps of the entire Call of Duty franchise. Is it recognizable? No, actually, I'd say one of the most unique looking maps, that's the way to say it. Again, this is one of the other maps that has been directly taken off the campaign, as there was a mission exactly in this map with no, I believe no layout changes. Having our P90 here, the silencer, and a, not an M9, it's a USP. Well, at least it looks like it. I cannot remember the exact name of this weapon. I'll look at it later probably. Just dumbfounded right now. As you see, the difference between this map and the other map is that if we look at the windows of the cars, they actually are destroyable. However, in the same fashion, if you were to shoot at a car from that part, it will light on fire. That little side connecting windshield to the side of the car. It takes damage. The entire car takes damage, which for me still is one of the more I'm gonna say interesting things. It is the case, I believe, in all the older Call of Duty games, and also I believe I just slid across the back end of that car. Again, there's a little bit of a change of a thing, and you could see the little bit of an effect here if we look at the skybox and everything that's around the bridge. It truly is a map of all time. I mean, we could start looking at the mini-map here. It looks like a simplistic map, maybe because it is. We have a little of a bog area here, and then on the other part, a little bit of an interior urban-ish area where you can do some CQB battles with SMGs as their snipers and assault rifles dominate. This map looks really cool, in my opinion. The time of day, the vibe, the entire thing, it just... Yes, it is a war-torn city. Yes, you may disagree with me in the sense that... And I agree with this sentiment, is that it doesn't portray a lot of... Actually, maybe for that time, if you would compare it to places like Syria and Iraq, I'd say it's maybe accurate enough to an extent. But also the details just break the immersion as a person just that can't speak the Arabic language. Lots of stuff doesn't make sense. But I believe that this map is a little bit of an exception because a lot of stuff is hidden, lots less writings that are available. In fact, lots of these interiors are just random shops, even though you could find on the side that this is a hair salon. I don't believe a hair salon should be like this. Hold on, let me see if this water bottle has physics. Yes, it does. I can even, like, can I get a... Ah, that was near. Doing the bottle flip challenge in the Call of Duty series is something. Hey, we got it! We actually got it! Brilliant stuff. Also, watermelons, lots of them, and bananas from Ecuador. Love the effects of cutting down the watermelons. I don't know, out of all the fruits they chose watermelons to be cuttable. And if you know about the tutorial, which I believe we'll go through, I think we'll go through it at the end. I think, this is more of a bar motel area. Just, in fact, the interiors of all the Call of Duty games just don't make sense. Like, what is this place for? Don't see a clerk or a place where you'd pay. It's just a random kitchen with a bunch of places to sit down on. I believe this is the spawn of the Op4 team. Either here or here, I cannot remember correctly. Or maybe just at the entrance here. But this is the spawn for the Americans, the Marines. This entire setting, or not setting, this entire vibe of the map is just something to look at. They managed to put this on a PS3 back in 2007. And the attention to detail on some things is really cool, really interesting. Here, the map design is not quite as symmetrical as the map design in Wetwork. It's, yes, there's a lot of parity, but you can see the fact that they just put this map over from the campaign. And it exactly is the same grab. Hold on. Another thing we'll try out. The tires don't pop. That's unfortunate. But yeah, and we'll see afterwards what is over on this side. But yeah, a little cool itsy bitsy map here being bog. You can see a little bit of the swampy area. I believe the entire mission was based off that tank there in particular. Again, it was bogged down in this swampy area and it couldn't move, so you'd have to defend it against a horde of enemies that would come into you. And of course, as the heroes, you'll defend it very ridiculously, but at least in a little bit less ridiculous of a manner than whatever the newer Call of Duties do provide. But yeah, you can see how this place is just a big bus for all kinds of vehicles of all sorts. And yeah, I think we've been here before in the bus, but this is quite a detailed bus interior. Reminds me of the buses I used to take. Buses, how they looked when I was a little bit older, a few years ago. Few years, more like about a decade and a bit. And these places will be for, disabled people because they're open and stuff, not like here where everyone sit down and then people that be standing up and grabbing onto these iron things, and you'd come in and you pay the driver here. Oh well, that's just a bus experience. Yeah, this is a bog. I believe there was a remake for the entire game of Call of Duty 4, being Call of Duty 4 Remastered. It looked great, it was the same campaign, it was just a remaster, it was just the same content, and then they had a version of this map called Beach Bog where they just made this entire area beach. There was a sea over on this side instead of the same looking buildings on over this side. Don't get me wrong, the skybox of this map looks absolutely stunning. Especially with the traces that go around. You just add into the map. This is why, at least for this map in particular, compared to the Counter-Strike maps and the Source Engine maps and the maybe even other Call of Duty games, I don't feel this feeling of weirdness, of liminality when I play this game. I mean, this is a probable thing. There is enough activity, and maybe I used to do this a lot. Maybe I used to go around the map and try to interact with things. I'm not a multiplayer guy. And one of the things that I like about Duty is the theming of the series. Heck, even this game, which was more serious and didn't have enough theming compared to the other games of the series, which we may look at a little bit later, whether it be Black Ops or Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops 2 even. Looking at the maps and looking at the details. The theming of these, with the entirety of the limitations, still is something incredible. That does actually bounce. Oh, that was a grenade. I forgot, I had an RPG. Could have just done that. What it would be somewhere around that corner. Look at it again. Like a little bit of a weird stalker. He'd be probably face down. No, he's face up. Classic Marine operative, 2 flashbangs. An average kick. Where's the strap for the magazines and stuff like that? Maybe is this center little thing? Or these ones on the side? Just looks off, to be honest. Lots of stuff here. The kneecaps, probably shin caps on the inside. And those boots that can step on everything. I just rearmed my P90. But yeah. This map is something. Not the biggest map. Not the most multiplayer based off map. But good map indeed. Hold on. Did I check this out? No, this is a pharmacy logo, but this is not a pharmacy. Alright, we're discovering more things. One of the things that annoys me about Call of Duty is this is not Arabic. There's just random letters put apart. I don't know, I interpret it as back in 2007, the internet was not as developed. There weren't many people on the internet. It wasn't quite as mainstream, so the only people that were there were the people that had the privilege to have the internet. They just didn't know. Stuff like this. I mean, I'm fine with the propaganda-looking thing, because that did exist, and that still exists. It's just the lettering. It just doesn't make sense for me. But for the average person who played this game, it's alright. Heck, even for me, playing this game. At the end of the game, it's a game. Pixels on a screen. There's no reason to be mad at these kinds of things. I mean, they're not deliberate, they don't disrespect anyone. It's just a game where you kill people who think that they should rule over the world. On both sides, actually. Afterwards. But oh well. This game is a little bit of a propaganda thing. Let's be a little bit honest. All the pro American sentiments, the us versus them mentality, the not understanding of the other cultures. It's a Call of Duty game. I don't expect anything more. And that goes for the entire series without an exception. You can crap on other countries for no good reason. It's just uncovered over some of the greatest, the damn best quick FPS gameplay that's ever been created. And from that we take the good stuff. And leave the bad stuff aside. Even though I think that this campaign was decent. But I believe that the continuation of the said campaign, even though it was more of an actual action movie, but it was like really cool to play through. Especially Modern Warfare 3. And finish it off with exploding this car. Ooh, that was a freeze. Yeah, I think I recognize why it does freeze. It's because lots of the shaders here weren't preloaded. And typically that doesn't really mean anything because on Windows it just processes them directly. But on a Proton-based instance of this game, it typically does tend to do that. In fact, the game used to run a lot worse than this until they had Wayland support. And since then, it wasn't much of an issue. So, yeah. This was Bog. Hold on. Actually, probably end this thing here. You look at this arch. It will be familiar in 3, 2, 1. About a night afterwards, what happens in the campaign is that tank that was in the Bog is liberated, and it gets returned into this part, which is a whole other mission, and then eventually gets blown up somewhere around there. Or does it actually? I think there were 2 tanks, and one of them gets blown up, the other one goes through. But yeah. This is I don't know if it says, yeah, it says it's codenamed MP Crossfire, as all the other maps. Maybe some with not their name, but this is the continuation of the campaign that was also exactly added onto the multiplayer. But this one's really interesting because of the layout. There's a reason it is called Crossfire. You know, it has a lot more detail, it's a lot more big, but the interesting thing is the main thing about these is these 2 sides. There's this side right here, and then there's that side right there. Both of them have first story, second story things, and it is veritably just a great concept all around for a map. It shows, even if they didn't have a lot to do, and I believe that was part of just a small development cycle, and the fact that they had to use all of their time to try and you know, find a way to make the maps for the multiplayer taking a lot of time. Because before this, the Call of Duty multiplayer modes are not really much of anything. But after the creator class and the lot of improvements they did, this was all the talk of town. Still, during the development, the multiplayer was not really prioritized. So extracting this from the campaign is really cool. And again, the absurdity of putting clothes in. Well, this is not a pharmacy. It's just a clothes shop. That goes up to. Hold on. This is supposed to be accessible. There are no doors here. Of pictures of the land. Going up, bunch of bottles, and what looks like an entire whole living room. This does not make sense. In fact, none of the damn interiors in this thing make sense. Next to damn shisha. Hold on. This thing's just not destroyable. Bed. I know that that radio is. Also, this is indeed a USP-45. I don't know why I forgot about that. This one's obvious, exists in a lot of video games. But yeah. Lots of parkour potential in these maps. A lot of people would explore around the rooftops. This is supposed to be a cafe. It does look like a cafe, just besides the fact that there shouldn't be a kitchen in the middle of the cafe. But yeah, lots of these things just had a lot of detail. Because this entire game has a lot more detail than we did think. It's just that it's not placed in the correct place. Hold on. I'm gonna do something very satisfying. This thing's fully loaded. 3, 2, 1. Oh, hold on. I'm putting you on edge. If you're seeing the video, for the people who are listening only, which I know that there's a bunch of people who just listen to these videos, this is a whole bunch of watermelons. If you could click tab in, look at this. I'll count down. 3, 2, 1. That was very satisfying. That was pristinely satisfying. I like watermelons in this game. Hold on, those bananas. These are oranges. They do take a little bit of damage. Actual, like, physical things. A lot more things to look at in this map. Again, same design of the bus, not much different here. Bunch more of these orange boxes. Another one of these. Do we do it again? Yep. Just make sure that we have a full mag of the P90. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Brilliant. There's another one of these. I'm gonna try something else with this set of watermelons. What about an RPG? They didn't stand a chance. Holy crap. Well, that was something. Bunch more oranges. Bunch more... Hold on. How destructive is the grenade? Not much to props. I don't think that there's as much interactability as you'd have a bunch of other maps. In fact, a lot of multiplayer games, now that everything's become super competitive, which, by the way, people used to try to get good at these games. At the same time, the main purpose of these games is to be good. To be good? No, it was to have fun. That's the main purpose. And people did end up playing this game for both reasons. But back in the day, it was fun, that one, over. Use the Op4 spawn, or the Al-Assad forces, which is the same name, the same last name as the Iraqi... Is it Iraqi? No, the Syrians. Syria. I keep confusing those two countries, even though I just corrected someone. It's about... Oh well. Which one was it? Oh well. We got. I mean, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, same last name as Bashar al-Assad, who terrorized the Syrians. Yeah, Syria. Syria's the one on the left. Iraq's the one on the right. Iraq had Saddam Hussein. The other country, which is Syria, had you know, both Bashar and his father being both the Al-Assads. So they had the last surname for one of the main from the main antagonists of this game, which is insane. It is just insane. Killing President Al-Fulani, which is a very funny name. It just means Mr. Someone. At least in my dialect of Arabic. But yeah, the entire layout of this map is really cool. One of the main things that I really like. I still have the RPG, right? I do. Still destroy myself if I want to. I mean, I could just go press change team and I'll be alright. I want to see something. Do I have ammo in it, or just has nothing? Yeah, it just has nothing. I'm going to change class. Or actually, I could just change class and change team. Heavy gunner. Yeah, this is the creator class system in a little bit of a weird thing, because this is not how the game works. It's just a mod that allows me to, well, change the weapons mid-round, which is a good change. least to showcase this game to you. This is one of the attachments that does replace the thing, Zero Grip. Let's use the M16, see how it shoots, and as a sidearm we get one of the specialties, the Golden Desert Eagle. Anything else doesn't really matter. And then we could change team. Give us a random body in the ground. Does it do anything? Oh, we have to create another one. Oh well. That'd be Heavy Gunner. Oh, like the same thing. There we go. You could barely see the grip on the bottom of that gun. Heck, even the animations of the bullet casings dropping down. Pretty cool. Even though they disappear practically almost instantly. Yeah, this is the Golden Desert Eagle. Very shiny. As if you get max rank, I believe they give you this Desert Eagle. Just looks really cool. One of the best looking golden weapons in the entirety of the series, I believe. Like, not even... I think the remaster does this one a little bit better, but this one just looks glorious. Even has the little details. You can see it moving very quickly. That looks very mechanical. Hold on. Can I shoot? Nope. It's going to be blaring regardless what you do. There was this, and then there's this little part on the right here where the B flag stays up and a lot of fighting does happen here because there is no cover. At least no cover from the side of the flag unless you were going to take cover here. You'd still be exposed from people who go that side. Let's look at the reload animation for this M60 E2. Absolutely chonky. What a juicy weapon. I don't know if you should characterize a weapon as juicy, but I believe that this one just feels big. There's a reason why in Arabic they call this the blender. It was never used. Well, they call this the blender in like the video game sphere. But oh well. It's a very funny thing to me how lots of these things correlate. But yeah, didn't know that that one had. Okay, was that a card? That's weird. That's a picture of Egypt, the Sinai Peninsula, and then the Red Sea here. A bunch of different weird little thingamajigs. Still have a little bit of time in this game. Oh. There's the game having a freeze again. Oh. By far the finest. Barely read that part there. I had to read the Arabic part to understand the start of this one. Lots of repeating assets. This one does have physics. Is that spam? What does it say? Soup King. Say anything else? Be able to know. Scrolling down. Come on. It says Soup King. Yes. Well, at least it is the Soup King. And then this water ball that looks like it's come out of Fallout 4 or 3. Either way, I wouldn't drink out of that one. And then there's these heaters that look like they've been burnt. That colour doesn't really inspire confidence in heating up my water. Oh well. Yeah, I believe that this was Crossfire, and I believe that there is no other map that connects to it from that side, as the mission just ends in and does its own thing proper. Oh, that is what it is. But yeah. What a great map. What a genuinely great map. I like playing around in it. Layout is decent. And the vibe and the idea, especially the idea of one side against the other side, I believe it could be explored better in another creation of this same sense. I mean, it has been tried before. There's been people who do the window versus window, but I believe that this is about the decent thing that they've been doing. So yeah, and I believe that the next map we're going to look at is definitely going to be a map that is not inspired out of the campaign, to look at something newer and more, interesting. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to another map in the same video. this is, of course, it's gonna. This is the worst running map out of all of the maps in the multiplayer, but for good reason. Very, very good reason, because I believe it's one of the prettiest maps in the entire series. Well, it can be considered one of the prettiest maps in terms of theming of the entire series, and it is one of the reasons I love coming back to it practically all the time. Welcome to Chinatown in Call of Duty 4, which, for the blind eye, looks like a rather interesting looking map, but if you look at the layout, it just doesn't make sense. This is not a balanced map, not by any means. It doesn't have a balanced layout. Buildings are random and few and far between, and it looks like, well, there's a lot to be desired for parity. Looks like a great deathmatch map, but I wouldn't play something like Domination in it. But that's for the people who don't know. For the people who know, this is a remaster of a Call of Duty 2 map called Quarantine. I wish I had Call of Duty 2 to show you, but this is the exact same map down to the last minute detail. And if I can find the area, which I think I'd be able to, there's an area you could go to the other side. Hold on. Gonna have to look for it, but yeah, you could look at it. Very interesting Chinatown area from a random city. That this place has not been used in the campaign, and I don't know what they were willing to do with this. Truly, it is something to behold. There we go, a bunch of DVDs and video store. Get the thing. I don't know if it is my options. Hold on, let me check. I'll be on the. Oh, I wouldn't be able to modify them because I'm in the game. Look at it in the final map. For now, just a lot of just. This is just eye candy. Lots of it. Again, love the physics thing, but I believe that in this map, you can destroy TVs, which is really cool. In fact, that's the case with all the maps. It's just that that other map in particular had that TV, which was not destroyable. Wonder where that place is. There's a place where there was like an accessible roof area. I just don't have in my mind. What was it? Hold on, let me look at the minimap. I don't think there is. But there was in the Quarantine map. But at least I know that there is an area up on a roof where it had an M249 strapped on one of the balconies. Cannot find it. Oh well, we'll find it anyways as we look into the map. But yeah, those were part of older Call of Duty. There it is. I recognize this connection. Oh, that makes sense. Just need to find a staircase and stairway above. There it is. This was very overpowered, but you were very much exposed from behind. This thing could absolutely melt people. And then, you go in this area. Let's go to the other side. It's an exact copy, this being a... Ooh. This again. Also, very fitting weaponry. MP5 SD and the USB are silenced. Brilliant. Again, have another set of watermelons to kill. And that I failed. I should have started with that one. And I'm not gonna miss these two. God, I love the destruction. I thought it went in the basket, did not. Lots of mangoes, all kinds, and oranges. Really sprawling market. And these apples that don't have any collision. That looks a little bit lame. Also, I've noticed, this map has no ambient noise. This makes it a lot more liminal than the other maps. No traces, no nothing. Is the image of the map. big skyscraper in the background. Looks like the skyscraper in Pyongyang, but with a lot more lights rather than the one in Pyongyang. There's another one, another set of watermelons. Oh, I don't have enough ammo. Hold on. Should be right now. That was an explosion. Oh, there's a bunch of these. Hold on. I'll leave that one for my C4 and then go for the MP5 with this set of watermelons. 3, 2, 1. Ah, come on! It didn't get the one in the middle. Again, not gonna use these two. And every single watermelon in that set is gone. Give me these ones. Oh, I triggered this one. This one C4, 2 C4. Very efficient fruit killing. Oh, there's more here. This one fits more C4 than anything else. I'll give it a grenade. Give it as an objective. Kill all the fruits. Well, that was a little bit underwhelming on the far sides, but it did do the job in the middle. Imagine all of these interactable elements in the same map. Now I want to show you one of the little bit of a thing I found whilst exploring this a little few days ago, because I always felt compelled to come back to this, and I do make my exploration. It's not thorough, but it's an exploration of just trying to see what the developers have hidden in this thing. I believe if you go upstairs in this building and knife this TV teddy bear in the background. I don't think it's the only one. I believe that there is another Easter egg link to it on this map in particular. But I just want to take in the actual moment. I think there's another one in here too. Oh well, can't see, probably not. But yeah, there's just random residential areas. I don't think this phase can be broken. Nope. Although, I think this pot can be moved, as well as the milk and this detergent. Affect everything. More Soup King. I believe Soup King is a popular brand. They should have expanded on it. But oh well. And that was a big fall. I wouldn't drop from there. Dim sum all day. I wonder what this is for. Again, the interiors don't make sense. Well, at least for the most part. This is a fish market with a random fridge in the background. With lobster. I believe this is an American Chinatown. With all the... yeah, because they have dollars. That is quite weird. Also flies in the background there. There's a computer screen. It's a physical object, but it cannot be destroyed. Same thing with this computer. So I don't have enough bullets in this, so I'm going to switch to my pistol. I wonder what book is that? What does it say? In fact, hold on. I'm gonna switch teams and go for a sniper. Go for a Barrett 50 cal. And give it M1911? M1911. Why not? There you go. Oh, was not quick enough. I have to explode myself for the M1911. That's a ridiculous looking thing. Yeah. This thing sounds like it just obliterates people. But somehow, in some cases, it's not a one-hit kill, even though it shoots a dematerialization round. It's a 50 caliber bullet. It's a 50 BMG. If this gets shot anywhere towards your body, you're probably dead. Oh well. What was I looking at? Where was that book? It was in the fish market, right? Fish market was on the other side? Oh, there is no other side, is there? Yeah, we're looking at... be on the other side of this building. Yeah, you can see the design is different. This is not how a COD 4 map would be designed. At least not normally, because this was a remaster for the people who wanted it. And I just like this, the view of the map. There it is, now I can zoom into it with the scope. It's too pixelated. Good job, me. Could be anything at this point. Lots of books in here. It's just a calendar. Just Chinatown. And of course, one thing that's weird about the Call of Duty games is that practically all pistols have the same reload animation, if they're not a 50 cal. And that is just something that makes me think 2 more times about whatever this is. You look at it. Back into the fish store. I mean, this has been quite the exploration, isn't it? Was it? It's me just diving right deep into this. Wonder what type of PC this is. Probably very old. Cannot run anything. No keyboard, no mouse, and a stupid radio. What do you do at a computer? The touchscreen CRT. Oh well. We'll see how those develop. Maybe. I think I'll do another episode where I look at the newer games in the series. And I also think that the textures are just not high quality enough. I'll look at them in the settings. But either way, I believe that the textures, even if they are low, they just give out a resolution. Or like, not a resolution, they give out a certain vibe to the game. They make it look so that it is a game back from the era of the 7th generation console. It just gives this, like, it gives it this certain, like, look to it. It's typically, well, that's the thing. The trick that they used for graphics was not very realistic textures and looking at, like, very minute details, but just graphics that look like you've captured a picture in that era of time. And that is, in my eyes, what we've stopped going through. This is why when we've had the body cam games, whether it be the first looks with the game called Unrecord, or with the body cam game that was multiplayer, or with what was that new game, the single player one where you play in the same like view? Start with B, then T, and then E, something of the sort. It was like a revenge game, set in Hong Kong or somewhere. Really cool game. I thought that had a slap in the backside. And yeah, to finish it off, I'm gonna look at these statues. I wonder what these are called. Probably have a name. Probably look it up. Probably don't want to disturb the gameplay though. Should probably have a second screen. Probably be something that I would buy for the future. Look up what these things are. But they look like Chinese statues. Maybe because they are. It's just what a great comparison, Dad. That is a wall. Oh well. Just lots of things around this map that just look absolutely insane. There's an ATM around the corner. Where is it? Try to look at it. Those same statues in what looks like is a bit of an artsy store. Bunch of these things. Wonder what they are. If you know what they are, you could put that down in the comments, even though I don't know. It'd be quite difficult. I don't know anyone of the Asian area, but I know that the table under it is very Arabesque. All those patterns. A pattern I recognize with the stars in the back. Like even the look on the side. Looks like something my grandmother would have. And that would be very sturdy until I destroy it somehow in the most absurd of ways. More DVD, the DVD store underground. Looks like we had doors in here. For a break room with another TV that we can break. And I believe that was a clock that can be shot down. Yes. I'm gonna shoot with the pistol because the barrel is very slow. Trash cans aren't really movable, same thing with these boxes, only for balancing reasons. But yeah, this was just a literal copy of Carentan. But yeah. We should get into the next map, because truly I'm absolutely going through these ones. Yeah, we'll look through one more map, and then we'll go through the not the multiplayer, the tutorial, I believe. So yeah, these absolute incredible shots from this M249 that shoots very, very quick, and does not run out of ammo, and that has very low polygons. So yeah, it is what it is. Look at somewhere nice, and then yeah, this was a map that was quite out of place, and it's one of the maps I like. See you in the next map. Hello again. This is Kill House, the last map we're going to check out today. It is quite an interesting map, because this one probably is the most beloved map out of the entire series, or the entire game. In terms of map layout, I think it has been remastered quite a handful of times, has it? And it is truly the, how would I describe it? With another map, which is Shipment, which I believe is very overlooked and very tiny. You know, this one is the better one, because it's more logical, has the bigger size, and just works. Has been remastered quite a few more times, I believe, throughout the Call of Duty series, notably in Call of Duty 2019, Modern Warfare 2019. Or at least had the same vibe at this. And yeah, this was just an interesting map. No much destruction, not much interactability, but just a decent layout that had this power position, if you could climb up without getting shot down, a left side that went into this side again. You'd have to be exposed over there, go through here, as this container kind of separates the spawns from the other side. And you've got these passages where you can jump here, shoot at the enemy, and then, for example, not for example, just that side is very exposed. Not a lot of people tend to go through this side. So yeah, I remember having so many gunfights on this building though, in particular, where you have to enter in. A lot of check corner markers in here. There's one next to the spawn right here, and you just get in here in number 2, and then you have 2 corridors with 2 windows that give you a view on the other thing. And this is one of the main points of map design back in the day. They had these power positions that, yes, if you hold this area, you could see a lot of other places, but at the same time, anyone can come from here, and if you're caught off guard, you're as good as dead, because in Call of Duty, whoever shoots first typically wins the gunfight. Or whoever hits first, I'd say, not shoots first, because shoot first and then miss with a sniper. And this will be the SAS start. All these benches that are very familiar to a bunch of players. And this camera. Yeah, this is just a simple map, straight to the point. Not many questions to be asked, and yeah, I believe we could add another map. Have a look at it again. Just look at the cameras, which sometimes you don't feel like there are cameras in this map. And then, because this game had kill streaks, they had to open up the roof so that helicopters could actually shoot in, so that actual airstrikes could go in, as the UAV just could look into enemies. They didn't have to have an exposed location. You know, you have red dots when you shoot and when you get scanned by the UAV. And this game only had like 3 kill streaks, which, you know, for the time, you know, kill streak was a brilliant idea. But now it's just something that has been completely overlooked. So yeah, this was Kill House. Yes, that's the name of the map. Sometimes I feel like I'm forgetting many things that I should not forget. Alright, I think it's just a sleepiness. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. Let me check my phone. Yeah, it is indeed nearly 40 past 2, which is quite late. Yeah, it is a really weird habit I have where I record videos at night instead of recording them in a more suitable time in the morning, but at least I have this peace of mind that no one's going to come into my room asking my help or anything, so a little bit of a comfortable zone to just talk freely about things that I find interesting, which is what I'm doing with you, and I hope you all enjoy it. Before we move into, well, let me just check out this shack and talk about it, because quite an iconic shack with this area you could shoot the other side if there's someone trying to go move around the back. And then there's this area, people try to head glitch through to the other side. Oh well, many memories in this map. Before I move on to another map, I believe would be the last map, as we have not barely spent any time here, I'd like to tell two things about two other people. First off, Tom, I'm waiting for your video still. I know you're getting lazy. Please work on it. And second message to Lexi. You're not lazy. Probably tired of doing something a lot more productive than usual. But I'm looking forward towards your yapping session. In fact, I invite everyone. Hold on. That's an interesting place there. See the outside. Of course, I invite everyone to just open up their mind for a little bit and just have a talk. It will help you a lot with your expression, especially if you don't know, or if English is not primarily your first language. Just open up the microphone, just keep talking, ranting about things. It's a very interesting thing to do, and it helps a lot in terms of communication. You get actually used to it, to talk to yourself, even though you look like an insane person when you look at it from afar, but that's a very normal thing, and it's a very interesting and useful thing to do. And I've been doing it for the past few weeks, and it's been really interesting, and it gave me in the mood to just make more stuff and showcase new interesting things to people. So yeah, this has been Kill House, and one more map. One more map. Why did I put the menu on? Keep that. Keep that. Right. One last map, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back again to Shipment, where we don't really know where we are. Are we in Eastern Europe? Are we in somewhere in the Middle East? But one thing is certain. It is the most iconic map, and this one has been remade the most times. Shipment being the notorious map that it is. It is tiny. It is practically the most symmetrical map that exists in the game. Where you have a block where B would be here in domination, there'd be a flag there, and a flag there. Again, even here, not many details, or at least not many details that can be easily seen. There's, again, lots of bottles, then indeed, in like a different design. That's a coat bar, I don't know if I can scan that out. Probably too low of a resolution to be scanned. Few bits of milk, bits and pieces all around everywhere. It is just an interesting place to be at. So yeah, the layout is very simple. Very, very simple. But it did the job. You know, playing Ground War in here was very chaotic. I don't think it was as chaotic if you've experienced the Battlefield series. There's this map called Operation Metro. It's very simple. It's a metro in Paris. And you put 32 people against 32 people in a map with basically only choke points. That map is, in my eyes, the most chaotic map in all of video games. No exceptions. And I genuinely beg you to make the experience of playing that map in particular. It is genuinely something that at least should be experienced once. It is a clusterfuck, but it is a very fun one. When I remember experiencing Battlefield for the first few times. But yeah, we're not on a Battlefield game, not yet at least. We are in Call of Duty 4, and for the Call of Duty fans, you had this map and 2 other maps in the entire series that just had this feeling of just utmost chaos. As this map barely fits a 1v1, imagine an 8v8 with 3 objectives. The amount of spawn camping and the amount of people that would stay in these corners would be insane. Here I am using the, what looks like is it an Uzi or a MAC-10? Probably like an Uzi, yeah. More than Uzi than MAC-10. I don't think there is a MAC-10 in this game. There are MAC-10s in other games. Well, the Call of Duty games. But yeah. Just a lot with a bunch of containers and the map called Shipment. They knew what they wanted to do, they delivered on what they wanted to do, and this map became a cult classic for 1v1s and for just utmost chaos in all kinds of Call of Duty video gaming. From this game upwards, it just became a staple. So yeah. Before we leave, one more thing. We're gonna go look through the tutorial of the single player to run around and just have one last experience, and also to compensate the smaller video that we had through episode 5, which is exploring Windows 93. Yeah, let's go do that experience. Here we are in the mission selection for the campaign. From the Mile High Club all the way to the prologue. So yeah, these 3 missions, this being an actual mission, the other 2, this one being a tutorial, the coup being a little bit of a cutscene mission to explain the story as the coup d'etat happens and Al-Assad takes over. Just gonna go through the tutorial. This loading screens, man, these they speak for themselves. They do. I'm gonna probably skip through this one. I do recommend playing through the game. Thank you guys. Take the G36C. Try to overdo this as quickly as possible because this game is becoming a little bit more fast, or this video is becoming a lot more longer than I remember. I'm not going to reverse the controls. Oh, the hip. One of the tutorials of all time. This was... Damn, I cannot talk. I don't want to... Oh. Damn. Right, getting the sidearm. Switching to the rifle. Like the sidearm. Force. This is iconic. Incredible fruit killing skills. Alright. The main reason why I keep this game in my hard drive. Also, there's supposed to be 2 tutorials. This would be a movement tutorial with like all the crouching, and then this would be a grenade tutorial. They did not do these for the campaign, and yeah, they still are their own thing. And here we are.
It's the FNG, sir. Go easy on him, sir. It's his first day in the regiment.
It's just brilliant.
Right. What the hell kind of name is Soap, eh? How a muppet like you pass selection?
I don't mind being called Soap. Actually, quite a silly name. Makes for a great conversation. Yeah. Let's go for it. Come on, mate. I should have had a freaking save. Just gonna try to do this once. Alright. Let's go. Go. Flash here. One more thing here. That's a good score,
But I've seen better.
but I've done a lot better.
If you want another go.
Oh well.
Otherwise, come over to the monsters.
One thing you could do is you could shoot the guys here so you could come back to that part up top very quickly. I'm gonna do it for one more time and then we can go back. 1, 2, 3. Guy here. Throw flashbang here. Throw that there. There you go. That's more like it.
Pretty good soap, but I've seen better.
I just really like this.
If you want another go.
This was really quick, really straight to the point.
For a debrief.
So, yeah, that was our little exploration, the vibe, the feeling, the maps, and the multiplayer of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. One of the marking games of our generation, and the start of a wave of modern shooters, and a lot of people wanting those modern shooters as a change from World War II. I hope this video was, entertaining, good enough for y'all, and yeah, I hope you're all having a decent time. Hope I didn't, talk too much or was a burden. And if you've made it this far, I'd love to find out what you think in the comments. Of course, any suggestions, of course. It's not like I don't have ideas. I'm asking ideas because I don't want to. But I just want to see what the people that watch this kind of stuff would like. Just me rambling or just say out their opinion. I'd love to hear about it. So, yeah. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you're having a fantastic time and see you very, very soon. Or another video, or another something. Whatever it is. I was Sad Green, and pleasure to have you. See you in a bit.